Good morning, and welcome back to Lopes on Movies. My name is Joey Lopes, and today I am joined by Kyle.
Yo!
And Connor in New York City.
Hello.
So, what's up, guys?
Well, I just gotta get this out of the way. How is Tom Hanks not Best Actor instead of Supporting Actor? What gives?
Kyle, did you see A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
No, I didn't, but it makes me mad knowing
So
that
you
he's
have no
not
room
up
to
for
talk.
Best Actor.
Oh, man. Everybody, thank you for listening. If that introduction was anything to go on, we're here to talk about the nominations for the 92nd Academy Awards, which were just revealed today at the recording of this episode. This is Monday of this week. So we thought it would be fun to, do an episode kind of going over what was nominated, maybe what's missing, that kind of stuff. And so clearly we already have some passionate opinions.
I didn't even see the movie and I'm mad.
I think that's like one of the opinions that no one has that anyone's talking about right now.
I actually have seen that, but...
What, you have seen that? I've
We've
heard that
seen
people
that?
are surprised that Tom Hanks is nominated, period, but I don't think that anyone's really complaining that he's best supporting role instead of, best lead role. I don't think that's the real complaint.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's focus, everybody.
Okay.
I think as a disclaimer, it's always very important to mention that the Oscars and all award ceremonies are stupid. Right? We can all acknowledge that, what wins and what loses, what's nominated, what's not nominated. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter
who cares?
to anything. But it's still fun to talk about and kind of gives you a good way to go over all the movies you saw in the year and, what you personally think really stood out. So it should be fun to go over the Oscars over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it is. But, I do agree it doesn't matter the winners and stuff, but it does kind of matter about getting it out there to the general, public of what movies are worth seeing. So when when certain things don't appear on there, it's disappointing. And when certain things do, it's kind of... And maybe winners and losers doesn't matter as much. And also, it's a little interesting when certain categories are, a certain way, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So let's just start with kind of an overview of some of the general trends that we saw in these nominations before we go into the specifics. So the first thing that is pretty interesting is that, believe it or not, the Joker movie, Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, leads the pack with 11 nominations, followed by The Irishman, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which each have 10. But who would have guessed that Todd Phillips's The Joker would come out on top in Academy Award nominations?
Yeah.
So I didn't see The Joker, and I'm calling it The Joker on purpose to annoy fanboys.
You're getting me mad over here.
So I can't speak to the quality of The Joker. But Connor, you did see The Joker. So what? How do you feel about this?
I saw Joker.
Yeah, The Joker.
Yeah, The Joker.
I think it's a joke.
And see you next week, everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. I was not a huge fan of Joker. I think it's undeniable that Joaquin Phoenix was great in it. He put on a tremendous performance, and I think his best performance was his acceptance speech at the Golden Globes.
Yeah, that was wild. Oh man,
that was probably his better than his performance as Joker, where he dropped 4 or 5 F-bombs. Was actually trying to say something that made sense, but it was too. There was too many F-bombs and too many slurred words that I don't think it could come out. So
I had no idea what he was trying to say. It was oh man. But this is where we're at, guys. The 92nd Academy Awards are dominated by a superhero film.
But Joey, there is one good
film.
Here's one good thing. It's a comic book film, yeah, but it's not a Marvel thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Here's one of my things that I was glad to see. there's not that much Disney here.
Yeah, actually, I
You know?
wrote that down where, so
Yeah.
despite having, according to reports, 80% of blockbuster revenue this year and completely dominating the box office, Disney only came in third for nominations with 17, behind, at the top, Netflix with 24, and then Sony with 20. And I think it's also very likely that many of those nominations for Disney came from former Fox projects that became Disney projects when they acquired Fox. So yeah, definitely not a lot of Disney representation, which, for my money is fantastic, because the moment that, Disney starts to invade the Oscars is the moment when, we've lost, and there's nothing we can do about, movies anymore.
All right.
But I do think it's interesting that the other story in that little thing is that Netflix has 24 nominations, which is the most out of any studio. So that's pretty wild that Netflix, which I don't even know if you could call Netflix a movie studio. It's they're a tech company with a platform that actually has the most nominations for the Academy Awards.
They also have lots of money.
Well, they definitely have lots of money to throw around. But that's insane to me that they're really positioning themselves now as sort of the auteur cinema haven.
Hey, they had some good content though, so can't really.
It was so long that they just didn't award ceremonies and every single type would not give any credit to Netflix. So I wonder if this is like this is like a changing moment. Like I know last year Roma was nominated,
right?
But and that was a Netflix film.
Yeah.
It didn't win. No,
I think a lot of people suspected it didn't win because there might have still been some Netflix bias.
And because Green Book was that good.
Yeah, all the critics love that one.
Yeah, like we say, the winners usually. And what was the other one? Shape of Water, somewhat recently. Like
a lot of people will go to bat
film?
for the Shape of Water winning Best Picture, and I sort of respect the fact that Shape of Water won Best Picture that year because it's a super weird movie about a woman that falls in love with a fish man. So the fact that won Best Picture at the Academy Awards is a little bit amusing, even though I didn't love the movie.
It also won a ton of awards though.
It did.
Too.
No, it did. It did.
I don't know if it was that kind of movie. But anyway, all right.
Right.
What's another trend?
So the one of my my happiest things from this Oscar season, Martin Scorsese remains the most nominated living director in Oscar history.
Hey.
And I say living because I think William Wyler, I think, has 12 compared to Marty's 11 now. And, of course, William Wyler is dead. But Martin Scorsese, he is looking great with those nominations. And you got to love to see it. And finally, my last little bit of trend, which is kind of just a personal trend that I find upsetting. No love for Uncut Gems, huh?
Oof.
Yeah.
And not a single nomination.
That's going to be something I want to talk about, certainly.
Yeah, so that's... Man, what can I say?
Want to know something crazy? Today, it was my birthday recently. Mm-hmm. My buddy Evan sent me as a gift the soundtrack for Uncut Gems.
No way! Oh, that's great. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I was not expecting this at all. And this is great. I can't wait to listen to this. Just put it on the record player.
One of the trends that I enjoyed. I love, and this is a serious thing, I love how much love Parasite is getting.
Oh yeah, can you believe that? That's
more
fantastic.
than just best foreign film. It's all over the place.
It is. Yeah, I think
it's a very good surprise.
It's really interesting to me how Parasite really kind of penetrated the market a little bit in America.
You could say it infected us.
Ah, yes.
Like a parasite.
Yeah. But it definitely you see people talking about Parasite that you would never expect to see a foreign film at all, or just everybody it seemed like was talking about Parasite and was talking about how great it was. So
I'm happy it's getting recognition.
No, I am too. So
I really expected nothing more than just best foreign film nomination.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting too. But hats off to our Academy members for recognizing good work. All right, let us get into the nomination. So let's start with Performance by an actor in a leading role. Ooh. So we got Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver in Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker, and Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes.
How many popes?
The Two Popes.
Ah, okay.
Two popes are better than one, as they always say.
Okay, want me to take this one real quick?
Yeah, I'd love you to.
Go for it.
Okay, so there's another little like trend here that I like that we have. I didn't see this movie yet, but I do intend to. Pain and Glory. I like seeing Antonio Banderas on here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
I want to see Pain
thing-
and Glory too, because I really like Pedro Almodovar, the director of that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like Antonio Banderas, and I hear he's excellent in it. The Oscars are once again very like white men all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's like inevitable, but I do think like it sometimes just depends on what comes out, I guess, right?
Mhm.
But this year I do think there are some other like some diversity would be nice, and there was some like I'm right off the bat. I think Eddie Murphy should be nominated in this category.
Oh yeah, you saw Dolomite. I never saw.
I saw
Dolomite.
Dolomite Is My Name is a Netflix original also, and it's great. And it's also like I think it's a great performance, and it brought Eddie Murphy back. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
It shows you how much star power that guy has. Like that guy is just. We talk about all the time how there's these guys who these certain actors and actresses that just their presence is just so much bigger than like the ones that are coming up nowadays. Like your Leonardo DiCaprio's, and Eddie Murphy is one of those from the past that it just has such a presence about him too. And he's excellent in Dolomite Is My Name, and I would highly recommend that one. And I don't know if that got any love.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing
awards.
it, so I'm not sure. I don't think it did.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
So that's one I would like to see. I think I've made it clear that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might be my favorite movie of the year, and I normally don't like Leonardo DiCaprio. I find him somewhat irritating in a lot of things. I just find him to be I find him to be limited generally, but I think this is the perfect role for him. And
it's the best thing he's ever done.
I think it's easily the best thing he's ever done, and I think he just hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
In this one. But I mean, this is that category though.
Yeah.
They could have put anyone in this, and Joaquin Phoenix is probably going to win. He's got all the momentum.
Yeah,
Adam
he's got a lot of
Driver,
momentum.
I think Adam Driver might be like the best like young male actor going right now.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I think
the guy's phenomenal.
I think he's just great in everything he's in, and he has something that Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't have. Is that, at least to me, this is my opinion, obviously, Adam Driver has range. This guy can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, so it's even like when he's in he does his paycheck projects where he was in Star Wars, the new Star Wars trilogy.
And he was the best thing in it.
He's definitely the best part of those movies, no doubt. And then he does like this small story like Marriage Story, which is excellent. He does a weird film earlier in the year that we all loved called The Dead Don't Die. He was in a Martin Scorsese movie not too long ago called Silence, which was also great. These are all very different roles. I think this is a he's probably one of my favorite actor going right now. Actually.
He picks his battles very well, to say the least. He really knows what to do.
Unlike John Boyega.
Yeah. And I actually saw Adam Driver in a play this year too called Burn This. So and he was great in that too. So hats off to him.
Give it
Big
to
fan
Adam
of
Driver.
I'm just saying I didn't see the other ones.
So we should move on pretty quickly since we got a lot to get to. But the only other thing I will note here is that come on, Adam Sandler, where is he? Where's my boy? Adam Sandler belongs here for Uncut Gems. Oh my God, that performance is amazing. And a personal, where is Paul Walter Hauser from Richard Jewell? Where is he?
He was great in this too. This is a category that's stacked.
It is. It is
so
stacked.
it's
tough.
too tough.
It's tough. But if it were me, I would, if Joaquin Phoenix, get out of here. Give me Paul Walter Hauser any day.
I mean, who even is Jonathan Pryce, right? Like, come on. Two popes? What gives?
Okay. Let's go to actor in a supporting role. We got Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which caused, so much controversy early in the episode.
For us only.
We got Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes. He must be the other pope.
The less important pope.
The supporting pope compared to the leading pope. Now we have Al Pacino in The Irishman and Joe Pesci in The Irishman.
Ooh, doubling up.
as well as Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We might have a split the vote situation, which you always kind of see whenever there's two people from one movie that nominated in the same category. We got both Al Pacino and Joe Pesci stacking nominations in this category. So that's who do you pick out of those two? It's a roll of the dice to me. I think they're both phenomenal in The Irishman. But not to mention, I mean, like, I think everybody on this list probably. I mean, I haven't seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood or The Two Popes, but I've heard great things about Tom Hanks in that movie, and I do think that to a degree he's not the main character. So I think it actually.
How dare you?
How
dare you?
I think it actually is appropriate. But also Brad Pitt and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just oh man.
Oh, he was so great.
That guy's a star. He's I would be thrilled to see him win that award. But actually, just seeing this here reminds me of something that I wanted to say about the leading role nominees. Al Pacino and Joe Pesci are phenomenal in The Irishman, but I feel like everybody's sleeping on De Niro, and it kind of breaks my heart because that performance from De Niro in that movie is like all-time tier work, in my opinion. Like, I think I've heard from a lot of people that have seen The Irishman, they're like, oh, he's just doing his De Niro thing. But it's like, oh, no, he's not, man. You gotta, like, look at his eyes, like the emoting that he's doing, and just this very subtle performance.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of nuance in that role.
It absolutely blew me away. The second time I saw it, where you start paying attention more to what he's doing, and the guy breaks your heart just with like a slight twitch of his eyes. It's unbelievable. So I think I'm very happy to see Al Pacino and Joe Pesci both get some recognition for their work. They're both phenomenal in that movie. But I really think the whole ensemble in The Irishman is really, really next level. So I hope that the conversation about De Niro's performance doesn't just get ignored, because he really is phenomenal in that film. But I think that's really all I got to say about that. How about we go to actress in a leading role?
Let's do it.
Ooh. We got Cynthia Erivo in Harriet. We got Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. We got Saoirse Ronan in Little Women. Charlize Theron in Bombshell. And Renee Zellweger in Judy. That's the Oscar bait movie of the year. Actually, Renee Zellweger has a lot of momentum because I think she won the Golden Globe. She won I think she won a Critics' Choice thing, or at least I saw a picture of her looking like she was accepting an award at the Critics' Choice Awards. So I think she might have won for that. She plays Judy Garland in that movie, so it's like a big it's like a big showy performance thing. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that the Academy really gives a lot of stuff to. So I think that might be the situation that we're dealing with. I can't really speak too much to a lot of the movies here because I've only seen Marriage Story and Little Women out of those five actually. But I do think both Scarlett Johansson and Saoirse Ronan are great in those movies. So
yeah, I would like chime in and say that I think they're both excellent. Also, I also have only seen Marriage Story and Little Women. I think Saoirse Ronan might be my favorite actress in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
I think everything she does is just excellent.
She's a very underrated young actress.
Yeah,
she's younger than us. I think
she is. I think she's 25. I think she's our age. So
she's been in some great films for being so young.
Just like Adam Driver, she picks her battles very well.
Yeah,
and I feel like she has ever since she first started acting. Because I'm pretty sure one of the first major roles she had was that. What was that movie called?
Brooklyn?
No.
Before Brooklyn?
Hang on. I'm gonna find it.
Mary, Queen of Scots?
Yes.
Lovely Bones?
Got it. Hannah. Remember that was that action movie with directed by Joe Wright, this says?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that movie was pretty well received at the time. And ever since then, I think she's been very, very smart about the movies that she picks. And she works with good filmmakers.
So. Yeah. I mean, and pretty much all of her films get a ton of Oscar buzz, and not just the Oscar bait type. Also, I think she's in actual good movies too. And this is her second movie with Greta Gerwig, also. So,
absolutely,
and it's a very different one, also. So,
all right, let's go on to actress in a supporting role. Why don't we? So we have Kathy Bates in Richard Jewell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Richard Jewell finally getting something. Man, imagine like going to bat for Richard Jewell.
You mean what we're gonna be doing?
You mean what Adam Sandler already did today?
Did he really?
So, yeah, this is actually good. I mean, I want you to read the rest of the nominees, but I'll just do it right now just because I already brought it up. So, after Sandler didn't get nominated for anything, he tweeted, I'll just paraphrase because I don't know it off the top. I'm not looking at it, but it was, he said something like, no Academy love for the Sandman. Bad news. Good news, Sandman doesn't have to wear a suit anymore, which is funny because I'm pretty sure Adam Sandler never wears a suit ever. But then he said, very happy to see all my friends who got nominated, especially Mama, because Kathy Bates played his mom.
Right.
And then Kathy Bates fired back a tweet also, and it was also in character of the Waterboy.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was nice. It was a nice little
Great
tweet.
Waterboy reunion. Beautiful.
And now the Waterboy, and we're talking about like Oscars now. With
What a
Waterboy.
Great combination.
What a world. All right. So after that, we have Laura Dern in Marriage Story. We have Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit.
Why'd you say it like that?
We have Florence Pugh in Little Women, and Margot Robbie in Bombshell.
If Bombshell has a Best Actress and a Best Supporting Actress nomination.
So here's the reason why I said two of the films on this list with a bit of confusion.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see Scarlett Johansson nominated for Marriage Story. I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, but as I previously mentioned, I don't like Taika Waititi anymore because he came out against Scorsese during the whole Marvel debacle. So seeing any nominations for Jojo Rabbit, of which it has very many, by the way, just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
How about Bombshell?
How about that though? That Scarlett Johansson is nominated for Best Lead Actress and Best Supporting Actress.
That's pretty crazy. That's got to be like a first or something. I don't know.
So where's she gonna sit? Is she gonna sit with the Jojo Rabbit people, or is she gonna sit with the? Actually, and what's Margot Robbie gonna do? Is she gonna sit with the Bombshell people, or is she gonna sit with the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood people?
I mean, if I were her, the choice is just clear. So I haven't seen Bombshell, but the idea of a movie about Roger Ailes and Fox News just seems very what's the word? Unappealing. So I'm probably not gonna go out of my way to see Bombshell, but I feel like there was a lot of discussion about her role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the time because there was the word count cops claiming that Quentin Tarantino didn't give her enough dialogue. Because that's how they measure how good a performance is by how many words of dialogue
your
you
hypothesis. That was, of course, Quentin Tarantino's response to that.
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
But I just want to say, she is phenomenal in that movie. Like,
she is.
Oh my God, that
she's
performance
great.
is so good. And I feel like the distraction that the people were having about the lines of dialogue completely ignore all the other work that she puts into that performance. So I would have loved to have seen her got some recognition for that. Well, all right, guys, we're actually coming up on time here. It goes so quickly when you're talking about the Oscars. So I think we're gonna just skip ahead to the big one, which is of course, Best Motion Picture of the Year nominees. So we have Ford versus Ferrari.
Woo!
The Irishman.
Eh.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
The Joker.
Why is Bradley Cooper attached to this?
He was a producer. He was a producer of Joker.
I never knew that.
I mean, The Joker. Little Women.
Eh.
Marriage Story.
Yeah.
1917.
One long shot.
Once Upon a Time, ... in Hollywood.
The ... dots annoy me.
And finally, Parasite. Woo!
Yeah.
So this is a pretty. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is a pretty good list.
Oh yeah.
The only things I don't like on this list are Jojo Rabbit because I hate Taika Waititi, and Joker because the idea of a Joker movie being nominated for Best Picture just kind of rubs against the grain. But otherwise, I mean, look at these movies. You know, we got The Irishman, we got Marriage Story, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we got Parasite, we got Little Women. You know.
Yeah, most of these movies were in my top of the year. There's two that are missing on here, and it's Uncut Gems, of course. That one needs to be on here. I think it's one of the best movies of the year. And The Lighthouse, which also is an incredible movie that should be on here as well.
I don't think The Lighthouse ever had a chance.
No,
it's just a little bit too weird, I think, for the Academy. But
you know,
I do love The Lighthouse.
The Academy, like we said earlier, you know, The Shape of Water won with the Academy.
It's true.
So,
they did give a movie an award to A Fishman Love Story. So, you know, maybe.
And there was a scene.
There
There was a scene where Robert Pattinson did something with a fish thing also.
It's
in
true.
The Lighthouse.
It's
so,
true.
You know,
that's one way.
There's precedent. There's precedent there.
That's what he did.
You're right. There is precedent here. I think the biggest surprise here is maybe Ford versus Ferrari kind of sneaking in there. I think everybody kind of forgot about that movie the minute it opened.
I mean, honestly, when that movie, like the first time we saw a trailer, I thought, okay, this just seems like Oscar bait.
I was
like,
totally ready to see it. I just I never
Yeah.
got around to it. And then, but you know, it's interesting to see that on there. I mean, but at the end of the day, I think we usually with the Academy Award nominations, you see kind of like a couple movies that you really liked, and then a bunch of movies that are just like, you know, ugh. This what is this doing here? You know, like I'm trying to think of like maybe it was last year. There was that Winston Churchill movie, Darkest Hour.
Oh yeah,
That shouldn't have been on there.
That was like that movie was this big snore fest. The Post. Remember the Spielberg movie, The Post? The Post was like, oh god, that was like the most well told awful movie.
Boring.
Because I mean, it's just Steven Spielberg he's not gonna shoot a movie poorly. You know, he's a professional. But like, oh god, that was just like so lame. But
Remember that movie a few years back, Lion?
Oh yeah, with Dev
yes.
Patel and and other people.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so you see those movies a lot, but I don't think there's really any of those movies on this list, you know? I feel like most of the things on here are at least distinctive. The only one that's kind of like indistinct is Ford versus Ferrari, I think, but I can't even really make that claim because I haven't seen it. So let's be honest, guys. This is great. This is a great year. We're no matter what wins here, unless it's Joker, then I think we're doing all right, you know?
Oh come on, Joey! If you see Taika Waititi up there on the main stage,
I'm gonna throw a fit. I'm gonna lose it. And he's probably gonna go on there and say, "I dedicate this to my friends at the Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige."
He just flips off Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, okay, boomer, get out of here. It's time for the new generation. It's like,
oh god.
Is he like 45 years old or something like that?
Something like that. He's also not even like, I don't even think what he said was nearly that bad. But sometimes you just gotta draw a line in the sand. You gotta have friends and you gotta have enemies. And I've decided to make him an enemy. All right, I think that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our brief Oscar breakdown. I think we're all looking forward to the Academy Awards this year. I think it's going to be a more so than other years. I think this is going to be kind of a fun time looking back on what happened this year, and who's going to win, who's going to lose.
I can't say that. We're going to talk about this again, though, I think, right?
Of course. Once we get closer to the actual broadcast, we will definitely do an episode where we give predictions and what we hope will win in the major categories. But until that point, we are going to continue seeing some of these nominated movies that we missed and bringing you guys excellent, up-to-date episodes about all of them with our opinions and thoughts. So until that point, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week.
Tom Hanks for Best Actor.